The Nets have defeated the top five teams in both the East and the West right now. The only team they haven't beat is Portland, but that's because they haven't played them yet. KD, Kyrie, Harden have only played 6 games together all season, Caleb. So it's a little premature, I would say. I don't know how much you are putting into, the stock of the Nets winning the championship right now, but they are looking really, really good. And one thing I will say about the Nets is I think they're catching people by surprise a little bit early. Would you agree with me on that?
I think so too. I think their defense recently, like the past 10 games, has been improving a lot. Like they're still in the bottom half of the league. They're like that 19th, 20th ranked defensive team, but with that much offensive firepower, like a league average defense is going to take them a long way. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And they look a lot better. KD has that hip injury thing that they're like giving him rest for and stuff. I don't think that's anything to worry about. I think he'll be fine. And out of the East, like who's the one team that could really contest with them? Philadelphia, because Milwaukee's struggling. So,
Yeah.
and we know Philly in the playoffs. What their history has not been very favorable of their
Neither is Doc
postseason
Rivers.
performance. Yeah, so I would say yeah, they're the favorites at least out of the East. Like I would bet money right now that they are going to at least represent the Eastern Conference in the finals.
Yeah, they've actually moved up in the Vegas championship betting odds. They're still number two. Lakers are still number one, which isn't surprising because
Yeah.
the Lakers are still the defending champs. So I wouldn't be surprised if Brooklyn moves up and becomes number one at some point this season, because especially with Anthony Davis out, we're going to get to the Lakers in just a second. But you mentioned it, right, Caleb? You said their defense has not been great, but it's improved. And one thing that you can put aside, let's say their defense isn't great, right? The one thing that I have noticed, and it's a proven fact, is right now the Nets have the highest offensive rating in NBA history.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. They look really good. And if that, like I said, that defense is improving. Past 10 games are ranked as like the 19th best defensive team in those past 10 games. That's big. That's really, really big and impressive because, like I said, league average defense could be enough for them to win a championship just because they
Well,
can
for
give you
sure.
130 points.
Yeah, no. And then the reason why I wanted to bring that up is because, like you said, their defense, right? In the 13 games that they've played together with KD, Kyrie, and Harden, from January 16th to the 9th of February, the Nets contested 85% of their shots in the paint, which, according to the second spectrum tracking, that was 28th in the NBA, Caleb. After February 9th, they have now contested 78% of the shots in the paint, which is the second worst shooting percentage in the game. So they've improved. They've definitely
Yeah.
improved a lot. I mean, you go from 28th to second is really, really big. I think we talked about it. Losing Jared Allen was huge, but I feel like the Nets are starting to figure it out a little bit. I don't know how much you maybe agree with that. Maybe you don't buy as much stock into it just because it's like, well, it's still early and
Mhm.
that's only been we're still in February, so that stat is a little bit short term, but they look good.
It's impressive, and they're going to get involved in the buyout market. Like if a big man gets bought out, if he's anything defensively, they're probably going to make a move for him.